What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be another week of bowl predictions. If you haven't seen the first two, please check it out. The last video is going to be up there in the corner. The first game of the week, right after Christmas, Military Bowl, presented by Go Bowling. We love to see it. Tulane versus Virginia Tech, 2 o'clock Eastern. Virginia Tech is favored in this game, but I don't think they're going to win this game. I was looking at the stats, looking at the transfer portal. Virginia Tech's losing a bunch of people. Tech went 6-6. They're not very good. They barely made it a bowl game. Tulane showed a strong showing in their conference. They're losing a few people in the transfer portal. I don't think Virginia Tech's winning by 10 in no way, no how, not ever. Tulane's winning this 24-17, easy, maybe even more. Next game on the 27th, we have the Duke's Mayo Bowl. West Virginia is favored by 6.5. It's going to be at 5:30. I do have West Virginia beating North Carolina 28-21, but this could be a competitive matchup. There is a potential that North Carolina could make this a lot closer, but I don't see it. They're losing a lot of people in the portal. There isn't much incentive to really go hard on this game, and I think West Virginia is going to come out on top. First ranked matchup of the week we have is Louisville USC. I don't think USC is going to even make this game competitive. Their best wide receiver, their best quarterback is out to the draft. Bunch of people in the portal. Louisville has a few, but they're not very impactful players for the most part. Like, they still got their starting QB. They still got some of their best wide receivers. And USC does not have defense. They didn't have defense all year, and there's not going to be defense in this game. And then now their offense is now going to be struggling because they lost their 5-star backup. They've lost their wide receiver, like I said a little earlier. So I have Louisville winning this 35-14 at the DirecTV Holiday Bowl in San Diego at 8 o'clock. There's no chance USC is going to win this. Louisville is a good program. I know the committee likes to talk crap about the ACC, but when Florida State beat Louisville, Louisville was top caliber according to their rankings. So I don't get it. I never got it, but it's like, I'm not in the committee. It's like, whatever. Next late night game on the 27th is Oklahoma State versus Texas A&M. We're at the Tax Act Texas Bowl, Big 12 versus SEC. I have Texas A&M coming out on top. Oklahoma State's losing a lot of people to the portal. Their end of their season has been rough. It's not looked good. They had a great run in the middle, and then for some reason they just fell off the map. Texas A&M is a really good program this year. They're not as good as they could be. They're kind of inconsistent, but near the tail end, they did perform a lot better. So I have them winning by at least one score. It could be closer, but 35-28 is where I have it. The first MLB Bowl, Fenway Park in Boston. Boston College versus SMU, 11 a.m. SMU is going to dominate this game. I know Boston College is technically a Power 5 school, but SMU's one year away from being that status, and SMU's had a really good season. The analytics love them. Boston College has not been very good, scraping into bowl games, barely making it. I guess you can count that one almost victory over Florida State at the beginning of the year, but we don't count that because it doesn't really matter. I have SMU winning this 35-21. Next big time game is not the bad boy mower pinstripe bowl in Yankee Stadium. Miami versus Rutgers. We have a 2:15 game here. -1. I have Rutgers coming out on top on this one. Rutgers had a really good, strong start to their season. I know they tapered off a little bit, but Miami, they've been tapering off a lot stronger. They've lost a lot of players to the portal. You know, I have a lot to say about the portal. You can check out a previous video that talked about NIL. I didn't really talk about the portal in particular because I don't think the portal is necessarily bad, but I do have some opinions on how much paying the players is, what it should cost, and there should be caps and stuff, etc. But yeah, I do have Rutgers coming out on top in this one. It's not going to be a very great environment. It's going to be cold. Maybe, just maybe, it might snow. There's a huge wave of weather coming their way. I'm not sure if they're going to hit snow, though. First rank matchup of the day, of the week, NC State versus K-State at the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Ranks at this point are almost virtually irrelevant. I do have NC State winning this 27-24. right there. I think NC State's had a stronger end of their season. I know K-State was shown to have a lot of power throughout the season, but like every other game on this list, a lot of players to the portal. They're shells of their former selves. I think NC State has a little bit more depth than K-State, so I have NC State winning this game 27-24. Next late night game on the 28th, we have the gas station Alamo Bowl, Arizona versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma has been losing a lot of teams to Oregon and a lot of other players to the portal. Oklahoma is a shell of what they once were. They weren't in the playoffs. They weren't even in the Big 12 championship. I'm surprised that team is still around. Arizona is going to come out on top. They had a strong finish to their season. They're not losing a lot of people to the portal. And if the people who are leaving generally just know they're not going to have the starting bid. So I do have Arizona winning this. I think Arizona is going to be the top contender next year in the Big 12 to really take it to the house. I think Arizona, if they continue doing what they do, I think they have a strong test to make it to the college football playoffs next year as a Big 12 representative. Maybe even the only Big 12 representative, because it's going to be all Big 10 SEC, baby. Next game on the 29th we have is noon, Clemson versus Kentucky at the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. Clemson is favored in this game, and I do agree with Vegas. I think Clemson's actually going to win by a lot more margin than what they had, the -4. I think Clemson is going to win by at least 2 scores. And I think because Clemson didn't really lose a lot of people in the portal, surprisingly, they had a pretty rough season overall compared to like other seasons. But a lot of the players looking like they're going to stick around. Kentucky is, on the other hand, did not have a great season. They were ranked 1 week, instant lost that. And I think that Kentucky is not going to be able to compete with Clemson because analytics love Clemson. They say they have a really strong FPI ranking. So that's just my take on it. Next rank-on-rank matchup we have at 2 o'clock on the 29th of December. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. We have is Notre Dame, Oregon State. I have Notre Dame coming out on top by less than 6.5. I think it's going to be a field goal game, super close. Oregon State had a great year, but the problem is they don't have a starting QB anymore. They don't have a backup QB anymore. They lost a few O-linemen. Their offense is in shambles. Notre Dame also lost a few people to the portal. I think that both of these teams it's going to be watching a backup squad go at it, and I think it's going to be very competitive, very close. Unfortunately for these teams is that Oregon State does not have a conference anymore. They did win that lawsuit. I was going to make a video about it, but I didn't really know what to talk about other than Oregon State won the lawsuit with Washington State. Now they're leaders of the Pac-2. And then what? They're going to play Mountain West teams. I guess that's exciting. Not really. But yeah, anyway, Notre Dame's going to come out on top of this one. December 29th, 2:30, we have is Iowa State versus Memphis. Iowa State's going to dominate this game. Iowa State had a great year. Just think, if Iowa State would have beat Texas and won out, they would have been in the Big 12 championship. Crazy to think, but now at the Auto Zone, in the Zone, Liberty Bowl, they're going to dominate Memphis. Memphis is not a very good team. This matchup is not going to be very fun. I don't think it's going to be a very good game overall. If they do make it close, we can always just blame the portal. Next game on the 30th of December. For those who've made it this far in the video, say hello to Mr. Spooky. Super excited to be here, guest starring on this week's podcast. We have Auburn versus Maryland at the Music City Bowl, 25th anniversary. I have Auburn coming on top. Maryland has not been very good this year. They had a great start, and they just tapered off. I have them winning by at least 1 score. Auburn did have some kinks in the armor, though, losing to New Mexico State at home in a dominating fashion. But they did show they can compete at the highest level against teams like Alabama. So I do think Auburn has a shot here. I know they're losing. Both these teams have lost a lot to the portal, but it might be a competitive game. Could be fun to watch. Next December 30th matchup we have is the Barstool Arizona Bowl. Toledo versus Wyoming. Wyoming's coming on top. This group of 5 matchup is going to be very interesting at best. I think it's going to be very close. Both these teams surprisingly did lose tons of starting players to the portal. It's not safe anywhere. So I do have Wyoming winning in this close one, 21-17. I just think they're stronger analytically. They're stronger overall. And they do play a lot better teams, to be frank. First January Bowl is LSU versus Wisconsin. We have the Real Quest Bowl in Tampa. I don't even like this matchup. LSU's dominating. I think Wisconsin's going to... I gave them benefit of doubt, giving them 17 points, but I really think they're only going to score 10 at most. LSU's going to dominate this game. Both these teams have some talent to the portal, and LSU had a little bit more depth than Wisconsin, and Wisconsin did not have a great year this year. So it's not going to be a fun game. This is going to be a very boring game. Just skip it. LSU's dominating. And the last bowl game of the video we have is the Iowa Hawkeyes. Yeah. Versus Tennessee. I think Tennessee's losing this. Iowa's defense is very strong, holding teams to virtually no points at all. There was a lot of miscues that happened in the Michigan game. I know it's cope to talk about it, but Iowa could have won that game if the offense was just a little bit better. But like, Tennessee isn't no Michigan. Tennessee is not even Penn State. I think Tennessee is more of like middle of the pack SEC team, and Iowa eats those type of teams for breakfast. It's going to be 12-9. It's going to be barely 20-some points. That over and under is a joke. It's not going to happen. Even with the transfers out, I think Iowa's defense is still fundamentally sound all the way down to the last man. It's going to be 12-9. And that's going to be it for this video. Please like and subscribe for more content. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to be talking about the January 6th New Year's 6 Bowls and the playoffs, baby. Peace.